Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 657 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Amy Biddle. She is the head consultant at e-commerce traffic handlers, and this is one smart lady, far smarter than I am, I'll tell you that. She knows the numbers, and the numbers is what makes your business work. We'll get her on in a minute. Now, just want to give you an update on the program we're doing with persons with disabilities, getting them scholarships. They're doing wonderfully in the school. One person that's blind actually started his own business helping other people with disabilities. Just very inspirational. So check it out at screwthecommute.com/disability. You can click over to the GoFundMe campaign that's funding their scholarships, and you'll just be amazed at the things they're doing. Two of the people in the program are blind, and they're shooting better videos than me. So check it out. All right, make sure you pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. Put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. And guess what? We don't just dump an app on you and you got to figure it out. We've got screen capture video and screen captures to show you how to use all the cool functions. So check that out. And then absolutely make sure you pick up a copy of our automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. And this has saved me, we kind of updated the figures, 8 million keystrokes. We're not making that up. And saved me hundreds and hundreds of hours of time fighting with my computer when I should be working with customers and prospects and developing products and services, because that's where the money is. Hey, I think it saved me carpal tunnel syndrome too while I'm at it. All right. So let's bring on the main event. We got Amy Biddle can help you identify any traffic that comes to your site. And this isn't just clicks. It's anyone that shows up, even if you didn't get the opt-in. Amy helps e-commerce store owners sell more products and grow revenue without risking giving over control to ad agencies. Amy, you ready to screw the commute?
The commute, absolutely. Hey, Tom.
Okay, I had to put the commute in there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I am peachy. I'm living the lifestyle business that I love, and I know you are too, but wasn't always that way, though. I heard you started your first business, and it tanked pretty quick, right?
It tanked pretty quick. I graduated from college. When I got to college, I could read. When I left college, I could read and write. It was great. And then, I got out of school, and I didn't know what to do, so I started a woodworking business. And
woodworking, is that what you said?
Woodworking.
Okay.
Yeah, I was refinishing furniture. I guess you could say I was a stripper. And and then it went downhill from there. Starting the business was easy. I rented some shop space and from a guy who had a wood shop, and occasionally he had somebody who needed furniture to be refinished, and I would do that. But I had no way of having new business coming in. I didn't know the first thing about marketing, and I was dead in the water. And it was like 6 or 8 months. It's amazing it lasted that long.
Well, before you go on, I got to ask you. I'm not sure I'll pronounce this correctly from the locals, but you went to the College of, is it Worcester or Worcester?
Yeah, it's Worcester.
Worcester.
Yes.
But you had a BA in English language and literature. Now I got to tell you, I don't get a lot of entrepreneurial types that are in English language and literature. They're mostly broke, looking for jobs, or working, competing for jobs at Starbucks. How did you decide to go into woodworking from that degree?
Well, Tom, I got to admit to you, the only A I got in high school was in woodshop.
Okay.
So,
but you went to college.
I had a skill. Yeah.
For language and literature.
My parents told me I had to go to college. I had no idea what I was going to do. So, it turns out reading, writing, and being able to think and put ideas together, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's what I did.
Okay. But it wasn't in woodworking, though, right?
It was not in woodworking. No, there wasn't even a wood shop at the college that I went to. So I was way out of practice.
Well, now, as you look back with knowing what you know now, could you make money with woodworking?
You can make money with anything,
There you
Tom.
go. All
If
right.
you have an idea,
Right.
you can do it. Yep.
Okay. All right. So that went down the tubes. Then what? So you went. Now we kind of get like throw up in our mouth when we talk about the dreaded jobs, but
Well, yeah,
you had
that's how
to.
I feel about talking about all the jobs I had.
Well, you
So
got to go tell us about it because some people out there are stuck in it and they want to get the heck out. So what did you have to go through? Put it that way.
I went back to work in kitchens and law enforcement because that's where I had worked part-time jobs through high school and college.
Kitchens and law enforcement, both in the
Uh-huh.
same time, or what?
No, just in rapid succession.
What did you do in the kitchen?
I was cooking, um, washing dishes, basically whatever I could do. I
Restaurant kind of work or
well, the first
penitentiaries
one
or what?
after the business failed, I went and ran the kitchen at a sheltered workshop, and I constantly had to explain to people that I was not one of the clients. They didn't believe me. But
Okay.
so I was there and I was running the kitchen, feeding people lunch all day, and doing up menus and
Well,
ordering
that's
stuff.
that's I mean
Honorable work.
honorable.
It,
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah, it was fine work, and there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that it didn't make my heart sing, and that's an understatement.
You mean
It did
like
not.
law enforcement?
Well, I didn't like that any better, but that's what I had done
What
in
did you do
college.
there?
I was a dispatcher at first, and then after a while, they put me out in the street, and I was a rent-a-cop with a uniform.
Oh, did you have a
Yeah.
gun?
No, they
No.
never let me have a gun, and I think they didn't like how I looked in that polyester suit. I think they said, "No gun for you."
Wow, wow. So you could cook and you could secure things.
I
So,
I I could run a key and a lock like nobody's business.
but you told me you went for like 15 years worth of jobs.
Yeah. So there's a Hindi expression that goes neti neti. It means not this, not this. That's what my resume looks like.
Okay.
So it's like, I would work in an office. I worked at Kinko's for a while making copies. Um, I did all kinds of things. I even got some internships and tried to find out something to do that way. And I interned for an architect. I interned at a publishing company. All, they all would have been fine as far as jobs or careers. But I was looking for what I could actually get up in the morning and love doing, which is how I live now.
See, this is
But
what I tell parents now. I mean, when they want to push their kids in, like you were pushed into going to college, and you got some worthless degree, I imagine.
yes,
You
that's
know,
what it felt like.
and I tell them, don't worry if your kids don't know what they want to be yet. It probably hasn't been invented. You know.
Well, that's yes. And
Yeah.
parents come to me and they say, I'm worried about my kid. He's playing video games all day. I said, don't worry about it because he's developing skills that are going to serve him in 10 years.
And that's $1 billion industry itself.
You
So,
bet. Oh my gosh. Esports, multi-billion
mhm.
dollar industry.
Okay,
Let
so
him
when you
do it.
finally decide to have your own business, did you
Yes.
just quit a job cold turkey? Had you saved up money? What did you know then that would make it different than the woodworking business?
Well, looking back, I should have saved up about 6 months of expenses or more, like
But
10 years of expenses. That wouldn't have hurt. But, what I did instead was I started part-time. I mastered some software,
hmm
got really good at it, started building websites with it, a little, off-brand website builder, got really good at it. And then I went to the company and I said, hey, I want to do support for you. And they said, sure, because they saw what I could do and worked there part-time. And then a few months later, I went full-time and ended up being director of sales for
Mm.
the company. Mhm.
But it's still a job, though, right?
Well, it was freelance.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I could, when you're freelance, it's more like having your own job. I could work when I wanted to. I had some control. Um, yeah, so it was more like running a business, and that suited me because I would be more inclined to work longer hours when someone's not telling me I have to work.
Right, right.
A little bit of a contrary in that way.
Well,
So
that's what they say about an entrepreneur. They'll work 18 hours a day to get out of working 8 hours a day for somebody else.
Well, I've been doing it since April of 2008,
There
and
you
that's
go.
exactly what it is. And I work long days, but I feel like I'm playing all day.
Me too. That's with me.
Yeah.
I could have retired like 22 years ago, really roughly.
Yes.
And I just sit here 7 days a week doing all
Right.
this stuff. Y-
Uh-huh.
Now, I was on your podcast and I became immediately impressed that you were much smarter than me. Because,
Well, you're very kind. I wonder about that, but
well, you know a lot and are very good with numbers, where I am not that good. I mean, I bring in loads of money, but it's, a lot of it's digital, so it's 97% profit. I can make mistakes, I can get lazy and still do fine. You really, really have dug in with a lot of people with regard to numbers. Can you tell us about how you've been helping people?
absolutely. So, you know how it is, Tom. The technology changes, the industries change. So I've had to change with the times. When I started off, it was dial up on AOL,
Yeah.
so we don't have those problems anymore. So what I do now and have been doing, and we've even had a recent pivot. I say we, like, the mouse on my desktop. Um, so it's been working with e-commerce store owners because they tend to be merchandisers, and they know how to take pretty pictures and display their wares, and most of them even price appropriately. But at the end of the day, they don't understand marketing. They're in the same position that I was in when I was a stripper, I mean a woodworker. So that whole problem that they have is they don't know how to get in front of enough people, and many of them are even really good at social media too, way better than I am.
Well,
I don't.
one of the things that I was reading in your book that we'll tell people how to get that later,
Yeah.
um, is for years I've been saying people brand themselves into the poorhouse.
Yes.
And you say, don't start with branding. The best branding is about relationship marketing. Forget
That's
about
it.
colors and logos and taglines. It cracks me up. People want to match their website to their brochure color. And I'm like, go down to Best Buy, open up 10 laptops and pull your website up and it'll look different on every one of them. But
Yes,
they
exactly. It's
spend
going to be
fortunes on it.
Pantone doesn't care.
Yeah.
Pantone just doesn't care. RGB, it just they don't care.
Yeah. So, what other mistakes are people making besides just only taking pretty pictures?
Well, it's the pretty pictures. It's not knowing what the current technology needs to be for their store platform. So, and that gets into the technical, and they don't want to know it, which is fine. But someone needs to help them,
Exactly.
with the integrations. Integrations, man, it used to be tough. You didn't used to be able to plug, one widget into a Gazenta, but it's different now, and integrations can work really well. You love automations, I love automations. So there are things that you can connect together, like your store platform and Facebook, for example. There's a Gazenta that helps with that integration, called the conversion API. Well, if that's not set up right, your Facebook ads are just not going to work. So you can actually hire somebody. You can consult with me and I'll show you what to do. You can hire somebody on Fiverr and maybe they'll get it right. But you
Yeah.
have to have
Maybe they won't too.
right, right,
But
right. Yeah.
but see, that's the whole thing, though. When people just refuse to understand what needs done, they
Yeah.
just, the old saying is, "Do what you love, and the money will follow." No, it won't. It'll follow.
Nope.
It'll
It,
follow
it
the
doesn't.
people that take advantage of you because you don't know what the heck you're
Yes.
doing.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
Right.
divorce yourself from the marketing. People just want to do the creative and think up new things and fun things, but then the rest of it. I mean, when we do a website critique in the back end, we've seen people with like 50 or 60 plugins, and they three of them do the same thing, and the
Yeah.
site takes a calendar to load.
Right.
So you
Well,
can't do
not
that.
just the calendar, but
Yeah,
the whole site, like those plugins. So if you're on a store platform, and if it's not WordPress and WooCommerce, but the plugins that you're describing, maybe it's Shopify, and you've got a theme that's got all these different apps, and same problem. If you have 50 apps in your Shopify store, it's going to slow you down.
and people won't put up with that, and neither will Google.
That's
So
right.
so you're basically doing all this work for nothing. Now,
Hmm.
I also read that you would talk about demographics and psychographics. You say
Ooh,
no sale was ever made to a demographic.
that's
So,
right.
so tell
Yeah.
people what demographics are and psychographics and which one they should concentrate on.
Well, okay, there's some magic in this because when you know the psychographic of your customer, you can just everything you write, everything you do to stay in front of that customer, can work some
So
magic. But
tell them the
when somebody,
difference. Tell them the
yeah,
difference, what
so
each one is.
the demographic is all right. So I am a female. I am 55 years old. I live in the southeast part of the country in Florida. I make X amount of dollars. I drive a Honda. That's demographics.
Hmm.
All right. So there are certain things that you can, look for if you rent a list, for example.
Oh,
And,
no,
and
it's good to know that, right?
yeah,
That's part of
it
the whole
is.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly, because if you want somebody of a different demographic than me, then great, go do that. But you have to know the psychographics too. So I have a giveaway, and I think we'll get to that later. But in this book, The Growth Guide for Retailers, um, there's a little story about Ashley and Matthew and their beautiful, gifted, exceptional children. And if you know what their lifestyle is about and like how they make decisions and how they engage with their environment and their world. And now I'm thinking of this from an e-commerce point of view, and people are buying things, but you can sell experiences, you can sell services, you can sell whatever you want to sell once you know how people do things the way they do them. And then you write, or do videos or engage with people where they are. It's how you say things and what you say and relation to how they are in the world.
Well, give them
That
a little deeper on that Matthew, was it Ashley thing?
Yeah, Ashley,
Like
Ashley and
she's in the
Matthew, right?
kitchen, she's doing this, she's buying this stuff. The kids are playing and this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, the kids are playing. They've got, Falu or the Jazz Cats playing on the Alexa. They've got Matthew's coming up, or no, Matthew just had a promotion. Ashley's coming up for hers. Um, that one kid's in Montessori and in preschool, and the other kids in first grade in public school. And they it was when I wrote this, it was at the beginning of the lockdown, and everybody's homeschooling and
But
everything's
you
on
you
video.
even said what type of plate was sitting on, where she bought the plate that was sitting on her
Yeah,
table. Yeah.
like Pottery Barn
Yeah.
table and all this stuff. So when you know these details, you can picture being at home with Ashley and Matthew. They're not just a 34-year-old male and female couple living someplace in, the mid-Atlantic region. They're actual people. And when you talk to them the way they want to be talked to, you can stay in front of them over and over and over again and, have a relationship. And it's nothing nefarious,
No, you're just
at
always
all.
putting in things in front of them that interest them.
Exactly.
So
And
here's what I'm
so,
going to do. I'm going to stop the interview right now, and I'm going to go
yeah,
down the street and knock on doors and ask them all this stuff because
well,
how else am I going to get the info? Funny,
fortunately,
should I ask, right?
I've got some software that'll help with that.
Oh,
That was a
no
nice
kidding.
segue, Tom. Thank you. So, you can go door to door, and when I was selling
Get
insurance.
arrested while you're at it, probably.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean, some places you can't go door to door. When I was selling insurance, they used to give us leads and we had to go, and to make sales in people's homes. So that's hard work. I would not suggest people do that. That was one of my jobs that didn't work out.
Oh,
But
I had that down, Amy.
did you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I didn't do it myself, but I had a bartender at my nightclub that was selling life insurance. I said, "This is simple to me. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
call in death threats the night before, and then you show up the next day." I don't know if that's accepted in the insurance world, but it seemed like a good idea.
It does. It creates a little bit of the pre-meeting, it's like
Yes,
pre-paving. In
right.
sales, they call that pre-paving. That's good. Yeah, that could work. So instead of going door to door and asking people nosy questions, I actually have software that some people that I work with use. And so we can take a look at the anonymous visitors on the website. And most of these stores, one of the big problems that they have is that 97% of the traffic is anonymous. They don't buy, they don't opt in, and they're never coming back. That's a huge number
But
because
they did get there somehow, and you need to
they
know who
got
the heck
there.
they are.
Yes, and most of the time they got there because the store owner paid for traffic to get them there. So that's a pretty expensive problem. I mean, that's like having a sieve, that you're running all of your marketing dollars through. So we have these anonymous visitors, and 97% of them are getting away. Well, working with me, a store owner is going to be able to identify, say, 20 to 50%, depending on the day, because every day it's somebody different. So when we can identify them, we can get in front of them again. And then the question is, with the people that we can get in front of again, how many of those can you convert, to a sale? So
Now, see, if you're a multi-billion-dollar business, you got this locked. They suck up to you and give you anything you want, right? But
right,
us
right.
little
Yeah.
guys, this stuff is not available normally, and it
Yeah,
might not be
normally it's not.
available in the future because the way they've been squashing small businesses.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The whole environment. I mean, the country was founded on small business, and now the small businesses that's the enemy. I mean, look at all the people who went out of business just
Mm-hmm.
in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, big
So,
businesses were allowed to stay open, but the little guy,
yeah,
no, we're going to throw you in jail if you open your doors. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So this gives you a lot more control. Now, I can give you an example, Tom, of,
Mm-hmm.
of how this can work.
Go ahead
Let's
while we're
say,
here.
sure. Let, let's say I go buy an air filter for my car. I need to replace the air filter in my car. So I go to the car parts store and I buy an air filter. Well, now while I'm there, they ask for my email address, or maybe I bought it online. Okay. So now my email address is part of what's called the ID graph. It's this big bucket of information that everybody who buys things, everybody's in it. I mean, if you pay for something with a credit card, or you buy something on Amazon, or someone asks for your email address, and anyway, everybody's in the ID graph. So now I'm in the system. Well, I go with my ID that is tagged to every device that I have. And now I go buy, let's say, a glass vase at some little boutique online. And it's pretty and it's got gardenias on it and it's gorgeous. Well, the store owner doesn't know that I just bought an air filter at the car parts store, but my ID is now matched to that gardenia vase. And so now we've got two data points that show things that I buy and who I am, and that's in the ID graph. So the software, we have a little pixel that tracks people. And just to get really geeky, I'll do this for about 18 seconds, okay, maybe less. So
No,
really
17 and a
geeky.
half is all we allow.
Okay, all
All
right,
right.
I'll cut it short. So we have this identity resolution, which happens because of the pixel. And because we have this tag, then we can get, I'll even simplify it. Once we have that person in the system, we can reactivate them with ads, emails, and postal mail in some cases. Not everybody has all the data points in there, but that kind of sums up what we're doing. And basically, we're kind of hoovering up a whole lot of anonymous browsing data that store owners have been missing.
So is
And
this like a retargeting on steroids kind of thing?
yeah, super steroids. Yes, right.
Tell them
And
what
except for
retargeting is, just so everybody knows what that is.
Yep. So retargeting is targeting is when you're getting in front of people. Retargeting is when you're getting in front of people again. That's the simplest way to
Yeah, but
think
it
about
in real life, it happens when you stop somewhere to look at a product on Amazon, And then that
Yes.
product starts following you around the world,
I
even
got
in
a
the
pair of
bathroom.
boots
Yeah.
in my closet right now that prove that that happens, because those boots, I saw them once and then they chased me around the internet until I bought them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, I purchased a bra for my girlfriend that she needed with Amazon Prime real fast for some event, some
Uh-huh.
special bra or something. And so for 6 months, bra ads kept chasing me around the
That's right. That's
internet.
right. And advertisers paid for that to
Yeah.
happen. Lucky you,
They
right?
should have thought about it. So now you really like Facebook ads, and there's a lot of people out there that would go against you on that. So what makes Facebook ads so good for you?
Well, the best part of Facebook ads is that there are 2.91 billion monthly active users. And that's even after all of the shenanigans
Mm-hmm.
and the problems that Facebook has been through. But that number was Q3 or 4 of
Four,
last year.
two,
So
four.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was there are a lot of people there. And if I drop my car keys, I'm gonna start looking where the lights are first before I um, you know, start looking in the dark corners. I want to look in the obvious places. So there are a lot of people, and Facebook has its own graph. Remember before I was talking about the ID graph where I showed up because of the air filter and the glass face, and now I'm in that ID graph. Well, Facebook has its own graph, and it has all sorts of data points on every single person who goes through there. So when we match our data with the data that's in Facebook and we get a match, we can find the people that we want to find with our
Uh,
customer list and with our prospect list. So even if you're just getting started, this works.
okay, but that's different than people just going on Facebook and trying to advertise. You're matching
Oh,
up to be able to target it better even than
yes.
I see. Yeah,
Yep.
because so many people rag on Facebook ads, and I mean, I particularly like YouTube in-stream ads because they're really really cost effective if you learn how to use them. Um,
Yes.
but uh, but still, I never had this. Is the only place that you match your software with is Facebook?
No, any platform where you can upload a customer list or a prospect list,
Mm-hmm.
and the platforms don't know the difference. So TikTok, Snapchat,
They
Facebook,
call that the
Instagram, Pinterest,
lookalike audience. Is that?
you can build lookalike
Yeah.
audiences off of
Oh,
these
and
on
that's not
Facebook.
called a lookalike audience. That's
No,
what
no,
they
these are
do with
just
it. Yeah.
straight list upload.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So even with Google, with the retargeting in Google, you can get in front of the same people, a certain percentage of them, over and over and over again, just by uploading your list.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us some of success stories.
Well, okay, let's back up a little bit, because there was a young man who came to me, and I'm old now, so I'm allowed to say that. Uh, so he came to me, I don't know, a few years ago, and he was having a hard time getting past $8,900 a month. Couldn't make any money. He was losing money hand over fist. He was really, financially in a lot of
So
trouble.
he was pulling in $8,900 a month, but losing money,
Yes,
right, on his
yes.
store and all this stuff.
On his
Okay.
store, right?
Hmm.
Because you got cost of goods,
Right.
you got to pay for software
That's why
and
I like
everything.
digital better. But go ahead.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah, he did not have 97% margins,
Right.
so he's making money, but he's not staying afloat, and he can't buy more inventory. So he comes to me. He says, "What am I doing wrong? I can't." So we fixed his ads. We made some tweaks in his store. Didn't even tweak his pricing yet. Well, 45 days later, he's at $35,000 a month just from working with me. So that was kind of fun.
Now, did he have the software, or was there other things that you can do for folks?
This was even before the software.
Oh,
There are
okay.
other things that we did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
this
people
is
are making very common mistakes that somebody with a sharp eye, and you've handled like 2,500 people, right, for
yeah,
in
there
your
yes.
consulting.
I
So
mean, starting back with that company that I was with, that I had learned software. I mean, I've audited, consulted, worked on over 10,000 businesses in the
mhm.
last, I don't know, however long ago April of 2008 was.
Got it.
So I've
Yeah, so
seen a
you see
lot.
things easily that would just go right over a typical business owner's head.
Exactly. Right. So we went from $8,900 a month to $35,000 a month. And then it was 15 months after that point. And this guy was running $1 million business.
And now you own the company, right?
That was Victor Kayam, and I don't
Oh.
shave. So, but yeah.
We got to take a brief sponsor break. And when we come back, we'll get Amy to tell us what a typical day looks like for her. And then she's got some great stuff for you. So get a place where you can write it down. If not, all the stuff will be in the show notes. And she's got a real easy link for you to go to. So, folks, about 25 years ago, people started begging me to teach internet marketing for small business because I had been so successful myself. And they started begging me to do a boot camp. Well, I came from a comic background, and everybody does boot camps. I was not about to do what everybody else does. So I was sitting there one day in front of my computer, and I said, I'm sitting here making all this money. I'll call it butt camp. And everybody thinks it's a typo, but it's the longest continuously running internet and digital marketing seminar ever. And I've done them in 11 countries around the world. And in London, they made me call it bum camp, though, so I couldn't call it butt camp. But that led to my mentor program. It's also the longest running, most successful ever in the field of internet and digital marketing. Is very comprehensive. It's one-on-one. You get an immersion weekend at the retreat center here in Virginia Beach. We have a TV studio where we shoot videos for you. And you have access to me and my entire team one-on-one for at least a year. So it's, like I said, it's the most successful ever in the field of internet and digital marketing. There's no high pressure here. If you'd like to discuss your future online, check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. All right, let's get back to Miss Cool Amy Biddle. And I forgot to tell you, she is the recipient. I know she's going to blush over this, of the Sally Wheeler Service Award. All right, so we have never had anybody on here that's had that kind of accolade. So, so Amy, what's a typical day look like for you?
You did some digging, Tom. You went back to
my
1985. You hired a PI to find that one.
My business to know, Amy.
Thank you. So a typical day, yeah, I wake up between 3 and 5 a.m. without an alarm, ready to go.
All right.
Ready to go. And I just get up and I make some coffee and I have some quiet time. And
was it the same when you were a security guard?
No, I used to hear the birds chirping outside at sunrise and swear and curse my life. I did not like that.
Okay.
So, so I get up and I'm ready to go, and I have a little bit of quiet time and a little more coffee than a little, and just hit the ground running. I'm reading marketing articles.
All
and
right, but do you work out? What do you eat? Do you? I
should work out, but I don't.
I mean, what do you do?
A little bit of meditation, a little bit of like contemplation. I don't do so much of an Eastern type of medication. Yeah, meditation. But contemplation, like thinking about the day ahead, and how's it going to go, and that sort of thing. And then, then it's whatever book I'm in, whatever articles I'm in the middle of reading, looking at whatever, because, marketing changes. There are always new tools. There are always new ideas. The principles are always the same. And that's one of the things that I find when I'm working with people. A lot of people want the tactics and the strategy, and they want, what's hot and new. But if you know the principles, there's not a lot. You don't have to worry so much about tactics. You can kind of hire that out sometimes.
I'll bet you're reading How to Automate Your Business by that really great guru guy.
That really great guru, Tom Anton. I am reading it. I'm on my second or third read of it right now, and it's open on the screen next to me. It's a great book. So then, I'm into writing or constructing, whatever it is that I'm doing currently, whatever the current project is. I've written 2 books, right? Well, I've written 3. The third one isn't published yet, but the Growth Guide for Retailers, that's on the website. If you go to amybiddle.me, that's there. I've got the
Yeah,
retailer's email
spell it.
playbook,
So it's Amy, AMY
AMY
BIDDLE dot ME.
.com.
Oh, I thought you
Or
said
I'm sorry, .me.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
amybiddle.me. Yeah.
Yep. If you go to the .com, there's another Amy Biddle on the other side of the country, and I think she sells real estate.
Yeah,
So
I know there's some
you're not
other
gonna
Amy
find
Biddles
you're not gonna find me there. Yeah. So go there, and that's where you can get the growth guide for retailers. It's a free download.
That's what I've been quoting from, folks. Really, really great about the Facebook numbers and the demographic, psychographic stuff. The the Matthew Ashley example of all these psychographic things that you probably never thought of. It's all in that great book.
And that's what that focuses on, and really thinking about your customers in a different kind of way. You really can't beat it. If you want more detail about email, you go to Amazon and put my name in, and you'll find the retailer's email playbook, and that's a 67-point master plan you can start using right now to add 30% or more to your bottom line.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
there's that too. But anyway, so by like 9 or 10, the wheels have come off because I've already been at work for a few hours. I may or may not have some breakfast at some point, and then keep going with podcast interviews, because I have a podcast which you were on recently. Thank you again for that.
My pleasure.
And client meetings.
Tell them the name of it.
Oh, it's the Traffic Handler Podcast.
The Traffic Handler Podcast, right?
And we're everywhere. So we're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, every place Libsyn pushes out to. That's a heck of a tool.
We're on Libsyn also, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, my days are long. It's pretty much whatever happens and comes up during the day. It kind of, like I said, the wheels come off after about 9 or 10 in the morning, because by then people are awake and they want something. So that's why I get up so early. But I got to tell you, I'm asleep by 8 most nights.
Well, all I can say, Amy, is thanks for coming on. And if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to cooking and gardening.
Short order chef. That's my plan B.
So thanks so much. So everybody check out amybiddle.me, and that'll lead you to the growth book. And I imagine they can contact you there, right?
Yep. There's a contact form. You can find some of the podcasts. There's a blog. Fun stuff there. Beautiful.
And then type her name into Amazon for the other 67 Ways book.
Yes.
Right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Amy.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Great spending time with you.
Yeah, fine. And like I said, folks, this lady is brilliant. She knows the numbers, and the numbers is what make your business work. So check all this stuff out, and we will catch you all in the next episode. See you later.